welcome back to part 6 of the Book One Cozies Club chapter by chapter for A Caterer's Guide to Love and Murder, the first book in the Caterer's Guide to Crime Mystery series by Jessica Thompson. I'm Di, and this is my audio-only reading vlog for this book. Today I will be reading chapters 16 through 18 and sharing my thoughts with you along the way. Due to the nature of this reading vlog, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't read these chapters yet, I suggest that you not listen to this recording until you have. If you would prefer to hear my general thoughts on this book in its entirety, keep an eye out for my Book One Cozies Club Series First Impressions video, which will be posted sometime after the reading vlogs for this book have commenced. So how is everybody doing this evening? I am doing well. It is hot again, so I do have the fan on, and I just can't wait for this hot weather to go away. I absolutely hate the summertime. I hate the heat. And I just don't do well in it. It gets to the point where I get really sick when it's hot. I always feel nauseous and I get headaches, and it's just a bad time for me. So I am trying to cool off by having the fan on. It's not doing a very great job though, because again, it is very still outside. There is no breeze. And it's not very cool outside either. So, that being said, what did we do today? We had seen the Matrix 4 trailer a couple nights ago, and it looked really interesting. My daughter had not seen the Matrix yet. So, we spent the day watching the Matrix, or I should say we spent the evening watching the Matrix. Earlier today I watched a couple knitting podcasts, and then I worked on editing and posting the chapter by chapters I had already recorded and scheduled those for publish. That took quite a bit of time to do that, and then I played a little bit of my video game after dinner. And we were watching The Matrix, and The Matrix 2? Can't remember what it's called. I know it starts with an R, but we watched the sequel after that. So tomorrow night we will be watching the third movie, probably with dinner, because Mom works during the day, and so we'll wait for her to get home, and then we'll have some movie time. But that's pretty much it. Oh, I also worked on my sweater. I didn't get much of that done today, just because I had spent so much time editing and fiddling with the video that by the time I was done with that, it was time for dinner, and then dinner and movie, and then a little bit of video game, and then I put in like 2 rows in my sweater. But considering how many stitches there are in one row, I don't think that's too bad of a job. So I'll try to put a little bit more time aside to work on my sweater tomorrow. But that's pretty much it for what I did today. I am looking forward to getting into the next few chapters of this book. I'm hoping that we'll get to talk to Paul and get some insight as to who attacked him. And, of course, the recipes. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into chapter 16 right now, and I will be back with you in a bit. So I just finished chapter 18. That was very interesting. I did not expect that the killer was who it was. How everything went down was very exciting, and again, I felt like these chapters went by really quickly, and I'm not sure if they were actually shorter chapters or just because there was so many things happening with, the reveal or the figuring out of who the killer actually was. And the whole confrontation, everything after it was revealed was definitely logical to me, and I appreciate that when a motive for the murder or crime or whatever in books is explained. So that was really appreciated. And now, though, now that we have had this scene, we have 3 more chapters left in this book. So I'm very curious to see what those chapters will hold. No recipes in this section, which was a little disappointing for me, but I can understand why. Especially because there wasn't really any talk of food besides the Caesar salad that was brought. I feel like there was a lot of medical jargon in chapter 16 when they were at the hospital. Not sure how necessary that was, and I was a little bit, boggled down with the introduction of those medical terms, some of which I'm not familiar with. But other than that, and the fact that Laurel seemed to be screaming again, lots of exclamation points in her narrative, which is different from how things had gone in the rest of the book, where I feel like Violet had done most of the screaming, or had the most exclamation points in her dialogue. I think if you go back and you count up all the exclamation points, a majority of them are definitely from Violet, but not so much in these chapters, which again was appreciated. The fact that not only was Violet not really using exclamation points in her dialogue, her inner monologue, and that it was only Laurel who was using exclamation points. In fact, I think in one particular paragraph, when Laurel was talking to Violet when they had just gotten there, almost every sentence in that paragraph ended in an exclamation point. And I was just like, really? Why are you, screaming? Especially when your husband is, passed out in the bed, even though he's kind of in a almost coma-like state. What they say, he in a fainted, almost like he fainted. But the old doctor was sleeping in the chair there, and she was still talking with exclamation points. And so I was like, yeah. But I did appreciate the fact that there weren't as many in total in these chapters. That's something that I find has really bothered me throughout this entire book. But I really did like how everything came together in these chapters. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next 3 chapters bring. I kind of feel like most everything that was talked about in regards to the reasoning behind the murder has already been explained pretty well. So maybe we'll get more of how the murder actually happened, what went into it, how the digitalis was administered to the grandmother, and hopefully we'll also get some concluding thoughts or progression as far as conversation on more personal matters regarding children happen in these last chapters. I'm really, really hoping that gets wrapped up before the end of this book, because I feel like if that carries over to the next book, that's really going to bog me down. I don't want to know that going into the next book there's going to be something like that hanging over. So that's pretty much all I've got for these chapters. I was very interested in what was going on. There was a lot of action with the confrontation and the reveal and everything like that. And I think of the whole book, this section was probably my favorite as far as the story goes. And then the first section, because we had so many recipes. Didn't like the arguing that happened in the first section, but the amount of recipes in that section was very surprising. I enjoyed seeing that, and I've in general enjoyed all of the recipes that we've seen in this book. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought of these chapters. Were you able to figure out who the killer was before it was revealed? And what did you think of how everything went down? I would really love to know. Definitely come talk to me either in our Discord or in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group too, if those are places where you feel more comfortable chatting with me. The links for those are down in the description box below under March Mystery Madness links. And that will pretty much do it for me this evening. So I will be back with you tomorrow for the conclusion of this book, chapters 19 through 21. And I hope you're all having a great evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.